Thank you for coming out this evening, good afternoon. I want Arthur to come up here. Arthur Kidney, please. He and I have robust conversations periodically, and I want you to understand something here that's getting ready to come into effect on July the 1st. And Arthur, could you just kind of enlighten us just a little bit without getting too much details about this HB 60?
Sure.
Okay, would you?
Anything in particular you want to talk about?
Just relax our minds a little bit because a lot of people are taking a lot of things out of context. Okay.
House Bill 60 is the gun law that everybody's been hearing about here recently. It goes into effect 1 week from today. There's a lot of misinformation out there about it. A lot of what the news media is putting out is already law, so this new law doesn't change much. One of the biggest things that a lot of people have a concern about is carrying firearms in churches. A church does not have to make a decision whether they're going to allow firearms or not. Me as a firearm owner, when I walk up to a church, I have to assume that that church is off limits unless that church has told me it's okay to bring a firearm in. It's a property rights issue. The state for many, many years, over 150 years, has outlawed firearms in churches, and the church never had a choice. Some churches would allow firearms. There's a couple of churches in inner city communities that are in dangerous areas. They like for their, they would like for their members to be able to bring a firearm to church for church safety, and the church doesn't have the money to for security purposes. So, but the state law said no. So they contacted GeorgiaCarry.org. And with Georgia Carry and working with the legislature, we got the law changed, so now the church can opt in. So if you go into church and you've heard about that, just know that people have to assume that the church is off limits until the church says okay. Okay. Another misconception that we've heard about is guns on school property. That has the 1,000-foot buffer around schools was changed in 2010. If you have a weapons license, you can drop your child off at school, and you can pick your child up at school with your firearm on you or in your car. Please do not go into the school with your firearm on your hip. It will get you into some trouble. If you've got a license to carry a firearm, it'll be a misdemeanor charge. If you do not have a license to carry a firearm and you get out of your car in school property, you're probably facing a felony. Pretty serious charge. Another misconception, anything in particular? School bus drivers. There's nothing in particular about them. Okay. One of the things that has been circulating through the local media here lately is law enforcement's not allowed to walk up and ask us if we've got a license to carry a firearm if they see us carrying a firearm. That has been a court ruling since the 60s. And what the Georgia legislature did is they codified the court ruling and put it into the law. Yes, a law enforcement officer can walk up and casually ask me if I'm carrying a firearm and if I've got a license for it. What he cannot do, unless he suspects me of a crime, he cannot detain me and force me to show my license to him. It's sort of like driving a car. You know, you're driving down the road, you're minding your own business, you're driving, you're following all the laws and everything. Law enforcement officer cannot single you out and pull you over just to check your license to see if you've got a valid license. It's a violation of your Fourth Amendment. What they can do is they can follow you down the road and wait for you to make a turn without a turn signal and then pull you over, and then they get all their information. And so basically what they've got to do with me, if they see me carrying a firearm, is they've got to suspect that I'm committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or have committed a crime, and they've got to be able to articulate that to a judge. And so with the local media reports of some local folks saying that they can't ask me if I've got a weapons license, that's incorrect. That person just doesn't know the law. You had a question?
Yes, sir. How about baseball parks, recreational facilities?
It is legal to carry a firearm on a baseball park at recreational facilities if you have a weapons license, open or concealed. Now, if the person is standing out there going like this, we got a problem.
To me, that's the same with school.
Yeah, it's,
We have T-balls all the way up to 14 years old. And that's,
And there was a case that made the media recently where a gentleman was walking around. He kind of had his chest puffed out, and you probably saw it on the news. And he's been educated now.
I had a situation in Hampton playing a baseball game where two parents rival of two teams. One of the parents, I busted cap at someone. And that's one thing they didn't do at the park. They didn't call the police to make a report.
Any other questions on it? Okay.
Well, thank you, Arthur, for the impromptu. Appreciate that. Hopefully that brings a little clarity, and do know that the Sheriff Department, your county government, and all those that are concerned in this community are working collaboratively together, including the city, counties, police, and the school board, to how we go forward and address this. We're not going to make any impulsive moves because as it stands right now, the resources required to secure every building is a huge expense. And so we're working with the Sheriff Department and the City of Conyers Police Department and the schools. We're putting plans in place as we go forward. So do know that your governments are working together to look at solutions so that we can continue to have a safe community.